Good evening. The frequency is not in use because I've been listening for a while. This is K4PEW Net Control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. We'll be looking for check-ins in a minute, but first a couple of things to get out of the way. If there's any emergency traffic, don't hesitate to break in and tell us who you are, what you need, and what your problem is, and what your address is. First thing you need to do is call 911 if you're able. We'll help you in any way we can after that. Can't happen before it. And that may be broken at any time for that. For information on the net, you can go to YouTube right now, and that would be to I'm saying way out of for those watching on YouTube. I'm trying to get myself straight on the camera. Hold on. There we go. That's better. You go to YouTube right now and see the screen on my radio as well as me, if you so choose. You can block out that part of your screen if you like. And that's on K4PEW on YouTube. Put that in the search block, you'll find it. Also, you can go to 146.415.net to see information on Simplex and how to do it if you haven't already figured it out. You can go to groups.io and sign up for our email list. It's also a great place to ask questions if you're new to ham radio. Even if you're not new to ham radio, if you're looking for gear, if you're looking for answers, if you're trying to figure out why your antenna ain't working, it's a good place to find out because we've got nearly around 200 people here. Many of them very, very good at ham radio. They're almost professional ham radio people, but amateurs yet. The net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And this is, by the way, this is our 11th year doing this. That's the 11th year started in September. And we're conducting that on 146.415 FM Simplex. Purpose of that is to have fun. Figure out what you can hear, what you can't hear. Make fun of others as you hear them on the air. But you and your wife can laugh at them, while they mess up. I've heard that happens. I've heard that happens to me. So we invite everyone to use the net. Anyway, to figure out how your system works, and you can tell by listening on the web. You can listen to what's going on the. Yes, I do have audio, don't I?
Yes.
I mean, there's audio on the YouTube feed.
Yes.
Okay, I can't. I'm not sure why I can't see that right now, but I just presume it based upon what I'm looking at. Anyway, wherever I was, amateur radio events, etc. By the way, if I want to tell everybody, I'm thankful Michael filled in for me on Saturday night for the cavalcade of nets, which is it's a huge job. I mean, an ordinary man would not be able to handle that job on Saturday nights. I mean, we got 3 nets, digital nets, and we got all the cavalcade going on, and it's just too much. It has driven some people to seek counseling, but not Mike. He holds up like a brick, man. Anyway, I want to thank him for that. I want everybody to make sure they saw the thumbnail for the front end of the website tonight. Was I love Elon Musk sending me that data. I was really excited. For those who haven't seen it, you can see it later or whatever. It'll be going out with the summary tonight or tomorrow morning, whenever I feel like it. Let's see. Anybody have any other announcements besides it? Because I don't have any. Not a one. We do have Winter Field Day coming up soon. I just don't know the date. Look it up if you're interested in Winter Field Day. Make sure to jump on that, and if you're so interested. I must have done something goofy. There we go. I'm back. I don't know how I turned that off. Turn myself off. That's what my wife said. Anything good for the net tonight, Mike?
No, Paul, I guess that's all. Just everybody be careful about the approaching window of snow. And my employer has decided that we're closing Friday, not taking any chances.
He's closed on the only day you have off?
I don't know.
Man, he stung you, didn't he? He could have closed. He said, no, Mike, don't come in Thursday, okay?
Yeah, I got tomorrow. It's going to be a huge day. Everybody is ordering ice melt, snow shovels, and all kinds of stuff, getting ready for the storm.
Well, hams are prepared, I'm sure. I'm sure they were all prepared. And we're probably the only ones that are prepared to communicate for our neighbors in the event of an emergency.
Absolutely. Be happy to do it anytime.
Very good. That was Michael, KM4YRF. He's here in Mount Juliet, a couple of miles. He's behind the mess here. No, he's behind Providence over there, just east of Providence, south of I-40. Who else is east? Anybody else east? How you doing, Stan?
Doing pretty well, Paul. How about you?
Well, I don't know that I could get much better for the age that I am. I don't think it's going to get better as I grow older.
No, I'm getting our way, Paul.
Very good. How's work going for you?
I'm picking up a little bit. They decided to close on Friday, too. I'm like Michael, the same day I don't have to work.
They ought to pay you just because you're not there, because you were supposed to be not. That just seems funny to two people getting their day off when they already have their day off. That's crazy. The Postal Service isn't open tomorrow. No delivery tomorrow because it's in honor of Jimmy Carter. I know you're expecting something big in the mail tomorrow, but it ain't coming. Anything else for the net, Stan?
No, that's not Paul. Back to that. KM4HQ.
All right, very good. That was Stan, Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. He's in just north of downtown Lebanon. Who else is a big signal, by the way? Who else is east? East or north?
84 Juliet.
Oh, man. Big signal. Danny, what's up?
Oh, not much. I don't think I want to go to Mars, though. I think it'd be too cold.
It would be cold. I don't know the temperature there, but I know it's something in the Kelvin range, a couple hundred degrees below zero, probably.
Right. So is Amazon going to deliver tomorrow?
Oh, Amazon would. Oh, you can guarantee they'll deliver. But I'm told, my wife said she got notice that the Postal Service is not delivering tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Is his funeral tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. I really don't know. I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Man, if I live to be 100, I just want them to quickly get me in the grave,
Yeah.
All right, very good. Anything else on that, Danny?
That's it. I guess Michael didn't hear me on C4FM the other night.
He might not. Dan, did you hear? You apparently did not hear Danny on the web. I mean, on the net, Michael.
I did not, and I was wondering where he was.
I was there. I guess he just never heard me.
Huh. Well, that's an oddity because usually he can hear you really well.
Well, I couldn't hear him, so I was having a hard time telling when he was keying up. You were about the only one I could hear.
Well, that wouldn't have been Saturday night because I wasn't here.
Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night. I'm sorry. I don't know. You have a hard time getting out, Michael, on C4FM?
Well, my radio's cutting power back. I'm only doing about 20 watts. I normally do 50 on C4FM, but I didn't hear Danny at all.
You want me to come over and have a talk with your radio? Kind of convince it needs to do better.
Absolutely.
All right. Anyway, we got Danny in Gallatin. Well, he's not in Gallatin. He's in Station Camp. Excuse me. That's Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. It's kind of near Cottontown. I've not been up in that particular area, but I know where I've been in Cottontown. But I Station Camp somewhere around there. Who else is north?
84 VAW, Carlin 8 Hotel, that place.
Hello, Carlin. You got enough pecans to last out the storm? You have enough pecans to last out the storm, you know, so survive.
Oh yeah, no problem. I went and got some stuff here the other day at the store when we had that last one of the snow, so I ain't got to do none of this running that everybody's thinking everybody's gonna be doing tomorrow.
I didn't expect anybody to be at the store today. I expected them to be at the store like Thursday. And I just went over there because I routinely go over this probably twice a week over to Walmart just to pick up things because it's just something to do, really. And the store was big. I mean, it was big lines to all the checkout counters. It was unbelievable.
Everybody's freaking out. You know, it's not like we've never had a snow before.
My wife even isn't convinced we needed a snow shovel, and she was looking online trying to find one, and nobody had one in stock on the retail.
Well, I'm not planning on going nowhere myself. I'm going to just sit back and watch everybody else try to drive up and down the road. I'll sit back and go like, I ain't got to be nowhere.
Well, the difficulty in my house is my driveway is all concrete, and it's at an angle, and the angle is sufficient enough if you can get out, but you may not get back in. So it's nice to have a clean, dry, you know, because I had that problem one year. I couldn't. My wife left for work. She decided it was too slippery, so she decided to drive back, and I had to go to get the car down because our street's on a slight hill going up to our house, and I had to go down there and drive, but get the car back kind of, and you know, and going and up the road, and she didn't know how to do it properly, I guess. And then I took it up took it up about 20 feet up the driveway, and that was it. And I had to go and dig myself out of the ice that was there, you know. Anyway, anything else going on with you, Carlin?
Well, guess not. Sitting right here, keep it warm. I'm trying. I'm doing a pretty good job of it. And just happened to come in here and hear the day going, so thought I'd jump in there and say hello to everybody. Hope everybody stays warm. And if you have to get out tomorrow, be careful. So with that said, I guess I'll hush up and turn it back over to you, Paul, K4VW.
Yeah, my recommendation is stay off the roads completely unless it's an emergency. I mean, it's awful out there. I know it isn't Mount Juliet because the roads won't get cleared for 2 days, and it's just dangerous. Anyway, that was Carlin, Kilo Delta Fort Victor, Uniform Whiskey. He's in Angeltown, Bethpage area. Who else is north?
Comment. WB0NOO.
What's up, Michael? Hold on, Mark.
Hey, Paul, when you went to Walmart, did they have both checkouts open?
They had not all of them though. That's funny. They didn't have all. It seems like they weren't prepared for it because oh man, I got out there about 4 o'clock and it was a lineup on a couple of the lines. I couldn't believe it. After I got there, I only had to wait a few minutes, but it was busy. I'll tell you. I guess kind of cracked me up though. I wanted to buy a TV, but I figured it'd take too long to get through the checkout. Anyway, Mark, how you doing?
Good evening, Paul. Doing well. Staying warm over here, and went out for a haircut today, and that was it. Hightailed it back to the house, and I've been here ever since.
That's a big retirement day right there. You probably have to take a nap.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah, I try not to take naps because it usually ruins my night of sleep. Nothing good. We have good conditions tonight. Did you notice the good conditions the last couple of nets on 220, or you were listening on 220, right?
Yeah, it sounds good. You know, I hear a lot better now that I'm not trying to use the discon.
I don't know about you, but I wouldn't bring up the discon often.
It's right next to my J, Paul.
Yep. Well, actually, if you have a Slim Jim, it adds the extra points to that.
Or a Ringo. I remember they used to kid about the Ringos, just saying that they were remote dummy loads.
I heard the same thing, but I have a hard time believing that's true. It couldn't possibly be true, was it? I mean, it was a pretty good. I heard people on Ringos, and they seemed to operate okay.
Yeah, well, you know, they put up a Ringo and then they hit the repeater and they sound good into the repeater, so they're good. The fact that they're talking to a 1,000-foot high station doesn't matter.
No, that's true. I know that, and I've said this a few times on the air. One of the guys told me, he says, you know, before you started the Simplex net, I hadn't thought much about Simplex, and I would, depending on what I did with what antenna I put up, I'd first kerchunk or get on the repeaters and see who I could hit. And now that's no fun at all, realizing that's pretty easy.
Yep. Well, there's no question that they carry the load. So, but that's good. It's a labor of love. I was just listening to the GMRS net. Did you ever listen to those guys? And Danny, I heard you there.
No, I have heard people on GMRS, but I haven't listened to that net. I'll have to do that. I've got it. It's at my machine to listen to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else, Paul. So have a good evening. Carry on. Do your typical good job. WB0NOO.
I got you checked off as having an app too, so I'm just trying to keep up. That was Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar, and he's up north by the beach on Lake Cumberland. Who else is, or the Cumberland Beach, maybe we'll call it that. Who else is north?
KE4TW.
Big signal tonight. Which antenna are you on, Wes?
Oh, I'm on the massive 5-element log. Got it pointed west. Everything is good in Possum Town. Good and crispy.
Yeah, well, you're 20 over here.
Yep. Heard everybody so far, even the first mobile check-in.
Oh, cool. That's pretty good considering he was going west out of Nashville.
Yep. All right. I'll be standing by listening. KE4TW.
With that beam, not beam, that multi, what do you call it? The long periodic, you should be 5 watts. It probably give you S9.
Well, it's a low Q antenna that gives me a lot of room to play, but the pattern, as you can imagine, that's broad of the door.
Well, very good. How is it on the backside?
It's not that great, but again, log periodics aren't made for gain pattern. I wish I guess it's the same thing.
That's so you were one of the early people in diversity.
Well, you got to, this is the DEI. KE4TW.
Very good. That was Wes. He is in Possum Town, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey, India. And everybody knows where that is. It's the center of the cultural universe, just northwest or so, a few miles from Lebanon. Who else is north?
Kilo, November 4, Echo, Romeo, India, Eric in Goodlettsville.
Ah, very good, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing great. Staying warm. Got my heaters on, and getting ready for snow, I guess.
The last I looked on the whatever it is, weather.com or something, it said 4 inches. So I don't know if that's the right answer right at the moment or not.
Yeah, that's not what I thought. I thought 5 or something like that. But I'll say it's not going to be that big a deal. As long as the electricity stays on, we'll be just fine.
Well, the last time I had snow tires was about 50 years ago.
I don't think I've ever had snow tires.
Well, I lived in the Northeast at the time, up in Rhode Island, and it was very hilly there. Snow tires didn't help though on hills, man. I slid down a few hills.
Yep, that's when you got to get the chains on.
Yeah, I like those little cleat chains. You know the kinds I'm talking about. They're just a little strap of 3 or 4 strands of chains that just they attach to the rim, and it's only and they don't wrap around the whole wheel.
Yeah, I've seen those. It looks like those work pretty well. Probably be a lot easier to put on and stuff. But I don't think we're gonna go anywhere. So we should be just fine, hunkered down. I'm sure it's not gonna last that long. We should be just fine. We got plenty of food, and as long as the electricity stays on, we got heat. We're golden.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, if the internet goes down, there's going to be some family feud fights going on.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, my kids are older, so they're not gonna worry about that. And we always got the radio, right? As long as we got some power, we put a battery over here, we'll be just fine.
Oh yeah, I'd run the cord out from the car, but I have 2. Well, I actually have the car, and then I also have a battery back up here for short periods, and then I've got another battery available if I can. I'll just slide it over here and hook it up. But yeah, it's all good. No, I was just saying that people I think children have a hard time entertaining themselves these days, and so if the internet goes down, they're dead.
Yeah, I copy that. I know when my kids were little, that was definitely the case. If there wasn't Barney or any of those shows on, all heck broke loose. So for for sure.
Need to buy them that Monopoly game, man. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah, me too. That was it. Or Scooby-Doo, of course.
Yeah, that's a little after me, the Scooby-Doo thing. But it was Scrabble, and it was also what was that? It was that slide. It was the Sorry game.
Yeah, that I remember Risk and a few of those other old-time games, Life and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but we also played a lot of cards. You know, I mean, a lot of stupid card games for kids. And then as I grew up, we got other games. But that isn't much of a thing anymore unless you're a gambler or something.
Yeah, God, everybody's playing, games on the phone and stuff like that. Solitary or Angry Birds or any of that kind of stuff.
Angry Birds. I got a kick out of that. My brother has 2 degrees in business and psychology, and he's been a major rep for major manufacturers. He told me he plays Angry Birds. I had a hard time not laughing.
Yeah, I copy that. Yeah, I know my wife did for a while, and she's always got some kind of games that she does. Not my thing, that's for sure. And every time you do an update on your phone, it like downloads like 5 new games on your phone, and you have to like go find them and then delete them all off your phone. But anyways, that's about it for me. Great talk to you there, Paul. Back to you in the net.
Very good. That's Eric in Goodlettsville. Big giant signal with this. He's got a great elevation on his antenna. Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India. Who else is north? North or anybody north? Got nothing. We're going to west.
Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Kilo Delta.
Hello, Doug. What's up?
It is cold out here in the radio shack.
Where do you keep your shack? I forget what you said.
I've got a nice little building out back. I've got heat in it, but I always turn it way back when I'm not going to be out here. So it was like 52 degrees a while ago when I came in, but hey, it's warm enough.
Yeah, I was just out in the garage, which is unheated in my home. Yeah, it's a big enough garage, and I've got some fitness equipment out there. And it's kind of nice doing workouts when it's cool in there. But of course, it probably, like you said, it was probably, since it's about 28 outside, it was probably, I don't know, 40, 45 in there maybe. But it wasn't breezy, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, I need to do some more insulating on this building. It's one of those, prefab buildings you buy from the Amish and they move it in. It's really nice, and it's 12 by 24. I've got a pretty high ceiling in it, but the ceiling's not insulated. I've done a good job on the walls, just never done the ceiling, and it gets really, really cold in the wintertime. It's not comfortable in here. In summertime, even though I have a window air conditioner, the heat comes through that ceiling, so I need to work on that.
What would you do? Just put up some of the insulator board?
Yeah, I mean it's a 2x4 roof or joists, I guess. And I would put bad insulation in between there, or maybe maybe some of that solid foam insulation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not too expensive. It's worth it too in the summer as well.
I'm sure it would save me a lot of money. I'm just lazy and don't like to do stuff. But anyway, I heard you talking about Winter Field Day earlier, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping the weather's not extremely harsh. We're going to get some of the guys from our radio club to come out, and we're going to play in my mobile trailer out there and have a lot of fun.
Where do you want it? Where are you going to take it?
Well, we haven't decided if we're going to take it anywhere. I can just pull it out in my cow pasture, and I'm out in the fields.
Ah, okay. Well, that counts.
Well, we have toyed with the idea of maybe going over to Fort Royal, to the state park over there, and I could do parks on the air at the same time, or I even considered Beeman Park.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I hope it works out for you. Yeah, because Winter Field Day is a little tough. That's why somebody asked me why we have. It's a common question. It didn't just ask me. Why? My wife asked me, how come they hold summer field day in the end of June? I go, in Winter Field Day, which isn't an ARRL event, but I go, it's because the ARRL is up north. They don't get like we do down here in the south.
Yep, I agree with that. If they our last one down here in Springfield, my goodness, I just about died at that thing. I said, I'm not going to do that again, guys. Sitting up out in the middle of a black asphalt parking lot.
No, that's no good. We did a summer field day. It was a good field day too. We had a lot of good attendance up at the time. It was in a state park on the west coast of Florida in the mangrove swamps. And I mean, it was right on the mangrove. We were right up against the mangrove swamps. We had to have tents with screens, and and it was in the in the end of June, of course, and there were more skeeters than there was leaves on the trees. I swear.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it was like down there. Well, the good thing about the winter field day, you won't get any skeeters or ticks.
Or chiggers.
That's right. That's right. Now my property is it is guarded by teenage mutant ninja chiggers.
I never had a chigger, but I spent so much of my youth outside camping with my parents, with the Boy Scouts and otherwise, and we used to go around and mess around in the woods all the time. Never even knew what I heard of them. Never had a chigger bite in my life. And I went over to help a ham. I won't mention his name. He snookered me into this, taking care of some things at his house while he was gone, and I had to go water some plants while he was gone. Some of his garden stuff, which wasn't a big deal. I didn't mind doing it, but I had to walk through partly a wooded area, and I go home after that, and I went, "What the hell is all over my legs?"
Yep, right there at the stock line, aren't they?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe the number of bites they were. I had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I had a real bad episode many years ago. I was archery hunting up at Land Between the Lakes, and I fell asleep out in the woods. It was raining, and I was laying there on the ground. And when I got home that night, I mean, it took 2 bottles of sugar red to go over my body.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And I didn't even know those were arachnids. I didn't know. I looked them up after I got bitten to death. Well, it wasn't bitten to death. I just had a bunch of them all over my legs. And I just got a kick out of it because, so then I pulled out my I have this little, I forget what it is, 30 power microscope. And so I dug, I think I dug one out and looked at it and I go, those are disgusting looking.
Yeah, I've seen them on plants before. If you know where to look, you can actually spot them, the little red bugs. Or go out in the woods with a white cloth and just lay it on the ground, and they'll literally cover it up.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never, well, that's confusing because there's another bug that you can see on leaves, and I can't think what they're called right now. The little one, little tiny one.
Mites.
What did you say, Tony?
Mites.
Yeah, I guess mites, right? But anyway, yeah, those chiggers are monsters. They really are. They're a real gift on your to sore legs.
I feel sorry for the wildlife that has to live out there. I don't know if the chiggers get on them or not. I can't imagine they wouldn't, but they can't go to the grocery store or the drugstore and buy the remedy.
Well, for what it's worth, and I'm no veterinarian, but I have noticed over the years that I've had dogs, particularly dogs, they can take more pain and irritation than humans can. I don't know if you ever noticed that.
Oh yeah, they can stand the cold better than humans can. We got 2 dogs here, a German Shepherd and a Doberman, and the Shepherd, he'd rather be outside. Now the Doberman, he wants to go out, but he's very thin hair, very short hair, and so just a few minutes out there, he's ready to come back in.
Is he a pretty good dog, that Doberman?
He's the biggest pain in my neck you ever saw. I mean, he's the lovingest dog in the world. If you're sitting in the chair, he's going to come and lay his head in your lap and just demand that you pet him.
Oh yeah, he's one of those. I got you. He's a pet monster.
He is that. Of course, they bark at everything. They're actually my son's dogs, and I'll be happy when they're in their own place and I don't have to deal with them. But I'm sure I'll miss them.
Oh yeah, no. I must love dogs. I got 6 of them.
Yep, I love dogs. Well, listen, I won't keep you. I know there's people waiting to check in. I hadn't been on the net in a while. We had a lot of illness going on in the family, but hey, we're all getting better, and looking forward to a great 2025. Things are getting better come January 20th, I believe.
They're already getting better. What are you talking about?
Amen, amen. All right, I'll let you go, Paul. It's Doug, KO4MKD. I'm out of here.
Very good. That was Doug, Kilo Oscar 4 Mike Kilo Delta. He is in oh man, it blew at Bellevue.
Greenbrier.
Oh, that's right. I messed that up again, man. I can't. So you need to check in every time, man, so I remember these things. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. It's Greenbrier. It's the inverse of Bowling Green. I'll remember it that way. That was Doug in Greenbrier. Kilo Oscar 4 Mike Kilo Delta. Who else is Wes?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Oh, how are you there? Right. I'll get it right in a second, Greg.
I'm doing fine. Just been the afternoon charging everything up, batteries, radios, different kind of radios, and cameras, getting ready to take a new power.
Oh yeah. You feeling better?
Yeah,
I hate that stuff. But anything dealing with a flu or a cold, I hate. So I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I haven't had it in like 12 years. The only thing I've had is COVID 2 or 3 times, literally in 12 years or so. So anyway, it wasn't that bad, and I'm really pretty much over it.
Well, as soon as it gets better, you know, the Chinese are going to send over another batch. You know,
Well, that next balloon coming over.
that may be what did it. You know that.
Well, it's the drones are dropping flu virus over the coast
Well, I'm just glad they started over New Jersey myself.
because nobody cares.
They're impervious. It's controlled by the mob.
Yeah, we can spare a bunch of the New Jersey.
Very good. That was Greg, Kilo Delta 4, Charlie Victor Echo. He is in Antioch. Who else is west?
JG4 LV.
Hello, Jack. Everything well? Hey, listen, I want to tell you, when you didn't give the full story on your affiliations on that Cheatham net the other night.
No, I didn't. Polecat's Friday night roll call. It's been going on for about, I don't know, 20, 25 years. And the guy that calls the roll is actually a ham operator.
Oh yeah. Did how many? I didn't ask you. How many people check into that CB net?
Oh, I don't know. It's maybe 15 or 20.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's big. That's great. And they're pretty much all over Middle Tennessee.
Well, 99% of them are out in the country. I think I'm maybe the only one in Nashville.
Huh. I don't know. I guess I find that interesting. Well, CB is, I'm guessing it is more popular in the rural areas, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. And anyway, it's fun. I've been doing it. Otis got me hooked on it.
The side band?
No, it's AM.
What channel?
29.
Yeah, copy.
You got a convert there, Jack. Got a convert, Jack.
Hey, it's all radio. You know, I do a lot of different modes.
Oh no, I agree. I agree. I'm not complaining. I just everybody makes fun of this, you know, chicken band, and I find it funny because it's still radio, and it still carries responsibilities, although pretty much avoided by a lot of people.
I got hooked on CB when I was a kid, and it was brand new in the 60s.
Oh yeah, my wife did too, and you know she's 12 years younger than me, so she as a teen she got I say caught up, you know, she was part of that whole 70s, you know, the CB craze of the 70s, which it was, and she was born in 62, so that makes it or maybe I'm going to say about 1962. I hate to give away her age. In the 70s, and she got a ham radio, she got a CB radio and a good antenna, and oh yeah, she was her handle was Heartbreak Hotel.
Well, of course, once I turned 16, got my driver's license and discovered girls, that was the end of that.
Oh, you didn't put the CB in the car and have the speaker so you could make announcements?
I'd go down to Otis's house. He just lived a couple of blocks from me growing up, and I'd go down there with him, and he would talk to his brother over in Old Hickory.
I'm telling you, Otis is a legend in this area. You know that?
Yeah, I miss the old guy.
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah.
When is that then?
It's Friday night, 8 o'clock, 27-295.
Roger.
Yeah, you have to say it's Simplex, man.
Yeah, channel 27, Simplex.
Yeah, it's no, it's really like you said, it's already. I don't think I've ever made fun of CBers other than everyone I've met. Not everyone, many I've met over the years in the last, I'll say 20 years. When they hear I'm in ham radio, they'll say, yeah, I was in CB. And that's cool. And they go, yeah. And they always tell me, a lot of them tell me, oh, yeah, I had 1,000 watts mobile. I'm like, oh, great. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think in their mind, the more power you have, the farther you can get at it. Doesn't matter what your antenna is or the conditions.
Well, again, what's interesting about CB, you could have a lot of fun, even now with CB on sideband. When they're skip, man, you can talk all over.
Oh yeah, and I have.
That's what I mean. It's not like it's just a local. It's not like a MERS net or something, you know.
Well, before I was a ham, I talked to Australia 4 or 5 times. There was a guy down in Perth I talked to several times.
Oh wow, that's awesome on 5 watts too.
Yeah, and you figure it's like they're a day ahead of us, so it's
Yeah, that's true. Plus, you're talking to people who talk funny.
Talking to a guy in the future.
Very good. Anything else, Jack?
No, thanks for doing that. I'll see you on the next one, KG4 ILD.
And you said Friday's on the net, right?
Yeah, Friday nights at 8.
All right. I'll have to drag out my my rate. Well, I have a radio transmit on CB. I'm just not supposed to. All right. That was Kilo Golf 4 Indy Lima Victor. Jack in Dallas, and who else is west? Nobody else west. We're gonna have to talk to Tony South. Come on, Tony. Hey, Tony. Anything good going on? I heard you. I was in the middle of something when you got on the air. I think it was yesterday, and you said you were bored. So, man, you got enough to do over there.
Well, I stayed busy today. I had physical therapy. The orthopedist, he cut me loose, so he says he can't fix me any better than what it is. We've reached a point of diminishing return, but for right now, we're not going to do any surgery, so yay.
Yeah, but I bet you said keep doing the physical therapy, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 pages of, quote, home exercises, unquote.
Yeah, and you know what? They're important. I know I've been down that road. It's really important you do them. I think you already know that then.
Yeah. So it was a good day. Picked up trash, went to the store. I had a different experience. I went to Publix, and I mean, it was, I'll just say it was not crowded at all.
Well, you know what the slogan for Publix is? It's always a pleasure shopping at Publix. I mean, it always is.
Well, are you sure they weren't all there at Walmart to see you?
Maybe to look and point and laugh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I try not to tell them I'm coming. I hate to draw a big crowd.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
It probably is. No, I was really surprised there was that many people at their show. I mean, it looked like a Friday night, the Friday night crowd, or the Saturday morning crowd, or the before football crowd, before big football game like Super Bowl. Because if you'll notice, if you've been in any of the retail stores, they've got all of the beer and chips aisles packed, and the displays are unbelievable.
Yep, there you go. Hey, that's capitalism. That's American.
Oh, I like it. Don't believe me. You're not going to get any complaints out of me. I don't drink beer, and I rarely eat those kind of chips and stuff, unless nobody's looking, of course. All right, anything else, Tony?
Nope, that's it. KF4 KFQ.
Tony in Smyrna, big signal, KF4 KFQ. Who else is south?
Kilo Echo 4, Yankee Victor.
Hey, Larry, your signal's really good today. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man.
All right, very good. How did I didn't get a good handle. I didn't talk to Mike very much. How did the D-Star net go on Saturday night?
We had 5, but it's all rough.
Oh, was it pretty rough?
Yeah.
Can't get over. Well, whatever. I'm glad it's going well. Appreciate you doing that. That's Larry in Rockville, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, and he does the D-Star net Saturday nights at 7:15. So anybody listening, you scanner, not the scanner listeners, but the people listening who aren't on the net, please jump on D-Star at 7:15 Simplex. Anybody else? And I think that was it for Larry. And who else? Anybody else out there south or anywhere?
KQ4 WIF, John in Hermitage.
Hey, John, how are you doing?
Doing well. I was in Dallas this week, and weather was deteriorating. I jumped the flight this afternoon and got home.
No problems with the flight coming through that mess?
Well, the problem was there was no problem at DFW, but they didn't have aircraft because they were grounded at other locations. But I wiggled my way into a flight and came home. Didn't finish my objectives, but I'll have to go back. But you never want to be stuck in Dallas during an ice storm.
No, I don't imagine so. I think I've only been through there once in my travels. I think I have to think about that. Yeah, that's the one that. Let me get this straight. Yeah, Dallas is serviced by what do you call it? Obviously, it's the home state. It's the Southwest. According to the name of the airline, Southwest. But they can only fly to states adjacent to them.
Southwest flies out of Love Field. That's 6 miles southeast of the city. Actually, it's the city of DFW. It's got its own zip code. And then American Airlines, of course, dictates the DFW market.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure about where they flew into. I didn't remember. But yeah, no, I got a kick out of that. They're because of the American Airlines. I'll call it the lobby. I don't know which one. Their influence. That when Southwest moved into Texas, they said they could only fly out of Texas to adjacent states like Louisiana and Oklahoma and whatever's adjacent to their first stop, I should say.
Yeah, it was set up where if you wanted to fly down to Houston into the Hobby, they would take you to New Orleans and then back to Hobby for many years because it couldn't fly the direct.
Oh, that's funny. Well, American Airlines was protecting their territory, weren't they?
Yes, I remember Eastern used to do the same thing, and Brannus, Eastern, they protected the Carolinas. You could fly to Europe cheaper than you could fly to Charlotte. And Piedmont was real big about protecting their market.
Well, I think they all were, and that was part of the problem. And once they took away that power of, when they deregulated, when was that, around 19? I think during Carter's administration, before 1980, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the same time they deregulated the trucking industry too. And I mean, we had turmoil going on the ground and the skies at the same time.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Well, they got over it though. It's called free enterprise, and they worked it out.
They certainly did. Well, I'm going to say 73. I do appreciate you holding the net tonight, and hope everybody stays warm and tucked in for the upcoming event we're going to have here. So I'll call it quits for tonight. KQ4 WIF clear.
Yeah, John. Before you jump out of there, I heard there's a slight like a whistle in your. I don't know if it's a fan noise or I don't know what that little tone is. It's in your sound.
Okay, that's interesting. I got a brand new power supply on it. Does it seem to be? I'm backing off the mic. Does that seem to help it?
No, it's a consistent tone. Is anybody else hearing that?
Sounds like it's part of the carrier that bleeds over from a power supply or something.
Did you hear that, John?
What I'm going to do is trim it out right now while you're on here. Tell me if that makes a little bit difference.
Yes, it did make a difference. It went away. But now you're going. John, are you still there? Did we lose you? Well, we can come back to John once he gets ready. But anybody else out there?
KO4DFA, John in Hermitage. Other John.
Yeah, John. Man, what are you being a hermit these days over in Hermitage?
You know, that's how I roll. You know, you gotta live the hermit lifestyle in Hermitage.
Yeah, very good. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a hermit.
Well, you know, not with Snowmageddon coming because, you know, that's happening.
Well, I guess everybody's freaking out. I mean, my brother lives up in Buffalo, so he doesn't freak out.
I find it hilarious, but I have to go to the airport that day to pick up some friends coming in from London, so I'll let you know how that goes.
I suggest texting them the local Uber number.
Well, the Uber doesn't have four-wheel drive.
That's their problem.
Yeah, but they want the cheap Uncle John alternative guy with four-wheel drive that will get out there and actually do it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just that it's not hilly going back and forth into the airport from where you are.
No, but they have a little, they're in Donaldson, kind of back there in the woods and the hilly little thing, and I just don't think there's an Uber driver that's going to take them.
Could be. They could get a better fare, I guess. So what's going on with you, John? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Nothing, just keeping the fort hold down and, you know, waiting for the little snow event. We're good. There's no issues. And that's about it. Just doing work, getting work stuff done so I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah, it's nice. I remind myself all the time that I've been retired for This will be, I think, my 16th year, if you can believe it. And it's been enjoyable. I just don't get a lot accomplished that's of any significance, you know.
As I tell everybody, all I want to do is be a lazy musician again, and I'll be fine.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that like when you're saying the same thing twice? What do they call it? Redundancy?
Well, so I'm not a lazy musician. I am one with a technical career that wants to go back to the previous career.
Oh, I got you. Okay. No, it's all good. Music is a great, gosh, I don't even know what to call it because there's so many ways you can get into music, as you know.
Well, it's a great way to waste your time and have fun while you're doing it, and I highly recommend it for everybody. But some people don't want to do the 10,000 hours, and that's a barrier.
Yeah, I tell people that they don't realize it. They don't fully realize it. And I took music music lessons as a child for about, I forget, 6 or 7 years, I think. And they don't. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of tedious work to get things. And I was no great pianist, but I did okay. I did. And my teacher thought I did okay. But the point is that people don't realize when you go see a professional, whatever they're playing, or a singer, and they have no idea how much time to get that good, how much time it took.
Yeah, well, that's why only 2% of people are successful in music, and it's the hardest thing. But you don't hear anybody complaining about the ride that it took to get to their failure. It's pure joy, and I've never met a nicer bunch of people.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I wish I could find it. They showed there was like a documentary about Juilliard some years ago, and I couldn't find it since I tried to look it up. It doesn't seem to be anywhere on the web anywhere. And they interview students, and a lot of them students people who were in the arts, music and the arts, acting or whatever, and as well as teachers. And it was awesome, to say the least, to listen to the teachers and to listen to the students about what their experience was in that school, which was an invitation only school. You have to try out,
Yeah, well, I don't know anybody that's gone to that except for people that I've actually looked up to, and I would never ever try to get into that school. I just do what I do and have fun while I'm doing it, and I'll be happy with that. It's fine.
Well, I'll leave you with this. I may have told you before. I know I've said it on the net before. Is that I had never spent any time in Nashville until I moved here 13 years ago, and I knew it was a lot of music. I just knew it was country and western. Center of universe for a country and western, and recording and etc. I just about where it ended. It was no big deal to me. I wasn't a country and western aficionado. But when I moved here, it's like I went to go buy a suit over at whatever what name is. I forget. Men's Warehouse, maybe. I forget what it's called. And my wife and him got to talk, and he goes, "Listen, let me show you my CD." He had his CD. The guy selling his game. He was about 50, 55 maybe, and he had his CD. He was still passing out CDs, looking for work.
Yeah, God bless that guy. That's really great that he's still slinging it. And but yeah, I just never wanted to be that guy, so I stuck to what actually they paid me for, and I hope to retire and be a lazy musician once again.
Well, there's I found out through my minor travels and who I've met here on the air and in personal things I see and do. I'm amazed, truly amazed at how many talented people there are in Middle Tennessee, because that's where I live, in Middle Tennessee. And I cannot believe how many good musicians and singers there are that you never heard of.
Yeah, well, there's a saying, you can't throw a brick, and not hit a better guitar player than you in Nashville. It's, there's so much talent, and it's such a fickle art. It's literally like playing lottery or Vegas, or it's just nobody knows who's going to win.
No, it is interesting because, as I've noticed, you can have a perfect pitch voice and you're an exceptional singer and control. I don't know the right words for all of that, but at the same time, if you're not a good performer, in audiences are there's got to be a shtick in there somewhere for the audiences to really like you, and it's being the difference between a performer and a good singer at the same time. And sometimes you can be a good performer and not so good a singer.
And then they gave us Bob Dylan, which defies all logic.
Don't make me laugh, man. Every time somebody says Bob Dylan, I start to crack up because I think he is possibly the worst vocalist. I'll call him that. He's not a singer. Worst vocalist in my lifetime. It's actually a recording artist.
They call that an artist, and you have to get what the times call. He just does his thing, and you know what? He's made a really damn good living doing it, and God bless him for just doing everything he did, because what else did he have to do?
Well, and again, and again, every singer, even whether I like him or not, and I've liked some of Bob Dylan's work. Don't get me wrong. Every single recording singer out there who actually makes a living in some small way has I'll just call it their niche market. Because you figure Johnny Cash, I used to love him when I was a kid. But again, even if you took he's pretty widely respected, I'd say, in the U.S. and elsewhere. But it's a niche market because not everybody likes his style of music. He's not a fantastic singer. He's a great performer, though. And so all I'm saying is that everybody has got their little market that they swing on. And there's people who can't fill up a local bar, but they do fill up the local bar with their friends and the people who like them.
Yeah, and that's why I don't sing, because I don't have what they call a memorable voice. Johnny Cash, and you pick any great singer, there is something innate about the sound quality in their voice that makes you go, wow, I really like that, and you connect with it, and it makes you think of things, and it just does a whole emotional response. I am not the person with that voice, and I recognize that. That's why I play guitar.
Yeah, but can you make the guitar sing?
In my own special hard rock kind of way, yeah.
Well, there you go. That's all it takes, as long as you're having a good time. Anything else, John?
No, that's all. I just wanted to touch base and wish you the best of luck over these next 2 days, and everybody on the net, and have a great evening.
Yeah, I imagine I'm going to be staying close to the house here. I don't feel like wrecking my car. That was John, Kilo Oscar 4 Delta Foxtrot Alpha in Hermitage. Who else? Any place, anywhere? K3 CTP. Hey, what's up, Brian? You're out of work tonight?
Yeah, they have us working till 8:30 nowadays. Noon to 8:30 instead of 1 to 9:30. They close the store at 8.
Oh, cool. So you're having a good day?
Oh yeah, it's kind of dull. There's not a lot of people there, which is good. And I looked all over the shelves. I couldn't find a 327 in any of the boxes.
No, there aren't. I looked over at what do you call it, Academy here around the corner from my house, and they're in the same boat. Now you have to order those. I don't think there's anybody. I doubt there's any place that stocks them in their stores.
They're almost rare in those 38 shorts. They use the 38 business they call it.
No, I get it. No, I agree. I agree. They're again a niche market for those that appreciate good ammunition.
Well, I guess it goes along with that 338 LaFou.
I'm not familiar with that one. Well, you have to ask yourself that. What is that one called that takes the 40? What is that one that takes either the one? I forget what it's called now. The one that takes either the shotgun shell, the small shotgun shell. Is that a 40?
45 long Colt goes with the judge or the governor.
Yeah. Well, how many people are going to lug that thing around with those? With those?
Yeah, that's kind of an at-home defense thing. We're going to put a couple 4-foot plugs in it, or else they'll be forced to converting on. So you make the guy miserable and then you kill him.
Well, listen, Biden said I could shoot right through my front door if I wanted to.
Well, yeah, that's a smart thing to do. You get a
somebody's doubling with Brian accidentally. Yeah, you're still got the push to talk, push down, whoever that is. Probably can't hear me for sure. Yeah, he's still keyed down. Anyway, Brian, I hate you got an interruption from somewhere, and I didn't recognize the voice, so I'm not sure who it is, but it was somebody's having some difficulties with their gear. I can hear him tapping around. I can see it on the screen. I'm just waiting. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the screen. Watch. He's got a great signal. He must be nearby. No, I can practically hear him breathing. Ah, there he goes. Appreciate that. Whoever that was, we knew you were fumbling with something, and it wasn't on purpose, so don't worry about it. It was kind of entertaining to see what was going on. Anyway, Brian, you still there?
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird though.
Well, no, it was just somebody had a difficulty with their push to talk, or something was going on, and he was trying to figure out what was wrong, and it wasn't readily evident to him.
Well, everything's going good. I'm almost, halfway home. And the big thing is whether or not we get to work on Friday.
Well, you are working on Friday.
Well, I hope to be, but unfortunately, there's a number we have to call to see if they really want us or not. I don't know. I feel bad because I'm going to get gypped out of some hours.
Oh, well, let's hope it works out. By the way, if you are going to work, I'll put out the notice to everybody on the website that you need to go over and buy some guns and ammo over there at the store.
Oh yeah, they can just come by and visit. If nothing else, just come in and throw snowballs around.
We'll see. They'll all come sliding down the hills there around the Opry Mills.
Oh yeah, well that's the scary part. You might go into that. If you're coming up Riley Parkway, you might end up the same way. What is it? Mary Wells or whatever her name was. Got killed there.
Oh yeah. Well, again, it's always dangerous in the snow and ice. Always, never not dangerous. You think it's okay until it's not okay, and then it's too late.
Oh yeah, well, even though I'm very skilled at driving in snow and ice, I can't control the others.
No, and even with skill, it doesn't always seem to work out when you're going sideways.
Yeah, I mean, if you drive slowly enough, you'll be all right. But if you have somebody spin out and stop, then you stop and it's all over.
Yeah, been there, done that. I used to get a kick. My memories as a child, because I grew up in the Northeast as you did, is that when the snow started to hit and the streets were either packed with snow, which they were before they dried up a few days later due to the plow or whatever, which the normal traffic would be 30 to 45 miles an hour in the residential area where we lived. All of a sudden, the traffic went to 7 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour because everybody just drove slow.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you know to do that, everybody does it. But you got a bunch of people here that don't know how to do it, so it is what it is. And we're, more and more people coming into this place that don't have the skill, and then you have those that are like Chicago that might have the skill, and they're going to push the poor people that don't have the skill, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah, very good. Anything else for that, Brian?
Oh no, everything's good. I got into that on my actual time.
Excellent. I would have put you down anyway as a virtual check-in because I knew you meant to.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'd be there every time if I could.
Very good. That was Brian. He is mobile, but he's normally, anyway, not normally. He lives up in Hendersonville. By the way, I looked today, and just to verify my mind, not for Brian's sake, but I noticed that there's nothing in the city of Hendersonville that is more than 12 miles from my antenna. Nothing. And so it's a rare person in Hendersonville I can't talk to. Even because, what's his name? Hayes got in the air. I heard him call out yesterday or today, I forget which. And he called out, and I could tell he was on his HT. I said, "You're on your HT." He says, "You can hear me?" He says, "I'm downstairs in the house." And so I could hear him. It was just funny to him that I could hear him inside the house, on the first floor. And so I can hear just about everybody in Hendersonville. Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. That's everything in Hendersonville is 12 miles from the house. All right, that was Brian, Kilo Alpha 3, Charlie Tango, Papa, normally in Hendersonville. Who else?
I heard Brian also, and I'm shocked.
Oh, is that right? No, he shouldn't be. He's just mobile. He's got a good signal. Today he had an excellent signal out of Hendersonville.
He was north, and I never hear anything like that. And I only got like 3/4 of it.
Huh. Well, again, being mobile, he often has a terrible signal to me in between where he lives, one of those fingers in the lake there, over towards wherever he goes normally. Over west, I think he normally is going. But anyway, yeah, it's tough sometimes. Mobile's horrible,
Yeah. Anyways, fun experiment.
Oh yeah, well that's the reason for repeaters right there. Mobile is the reason repeaters live, and people only with HTs. That's the only reason repeaters should be there. But when you check into a repeater, they ought to say, "You want an HT? Get out if you're not an HT." I'm just kidding, of course. Who else? Anybody else? Any place, anywhere? I always make fun of repeaters somehow. Did everybody see my thumbnail on the web? I see that Elon Musk got into the fray here with Simplex.
I just want to make a comment.
Hey, go ahead, Jack.
I want everybody up there in Mount Juliet to be careful with all the extra traffic around the ski lift.
Oh yeah, it's going to be worse because I can shut down the snow machine. I don't have to use it this weekend.
That's right. You save a little energy.
Very good. Yeah, we're going green over here, or white. Maybe that's what it is. We're going white. Yeah, we got to say. No, anyway, no, it's all good, all good. The damn hills around here drive me crazy though, in the ice. The last time we walked over, the last big snow we had, whenever that was, 2 years ago maybe, might have been 3, I forget. It was after 2019, so it was either winter after 2019, 1920, or it was 20 the next year. We weren't going to make it on the driveway. The roads were all messed up where I live. I mean, there's no way I was going to drive, and so we walked over to Walmart. It trudged through the snow and ice, and there's not a sidewalk the entire distance. It makes it a little worse. And you couldn't walk in the street because the cars were in the street, and there's no right of way on the street I'm on. And so we walked over, and on the way back, we're both carrying, groceries bag, a couple of bags each, or one bag in each hand. Nothing really serious. And we had people. A guy stopped in his pickup truck and said, "Sure, we're all dressed up in winter clothing." He said, "You guys need a ride? We must have looked like homeless people." Anyway, it's all good. We don't mind. We both grew up in a winter climate, so this isn't anything new to us. It's not necessarily fun trudging to the store in the snow, but man, did I do! When I think back when I was a kid, and I don't mean to make it like we had some terrible life, but I lived about a mile from the high school, and I lived about a mile from the bowling alley, and I lived about a mile or better from a lot of other places. And we'd walk in the snow just as if it was nothing. But it wasn't. You just learn to tolerate it. I guess that's the right way to say it. Just learn to tolerate it. Anyway, anybody else, please come now. All right, just like you tolerate the heat here in Tennessee. We didn't have to tolerate much heat up in where I grew up. We're looking for lollygaggers. Hold on, let me get my stinking list here. Lollygaggers, lurkers, and sandbaggers. I think I know this by heart by now. Lollygaggers, well, landlubbers, I threw that in there. Lurkers, skulkers, slackers, lackeys, toadies, lackards, repeater kachunkers, lizard, shape-shifting lizard people, moon landing deniers, flat earthers, the flat earth deniers, and those that believe that there's people living inside the earth also believe there's a belief system that says there's people living inside the moon as a satellite, and also the countries, which aren't us, that have we might be over there, that have colonies on the backside of the moon. So anybody of those people there, please come in.
Aren't those disqualifying traits?
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, They may be, but they're still. Listen, there's a lot of people who have. I have this rule in life, not for myself, for what I accept. People can believe anything they want to believe. That's my sheer answer. If you want to believe certain things that I don't believe it, I'm good with it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, anybody else out there tonight? I'm sorry, John. What did you say?
I said, whatever you say, you're the boss.
Oh no, I mean, if people want to discuss the differences about beliefs, yeah, that's good too. But like I said, having a different belief from mine, where they believe in something I find to be, a little silly or crazy or absurd, or I just, you have to prove it to. Well, for instance, Bigfoot believers. Listen, my wife's a big Bigfoot believer, and I believe that people believe there's one, and I believe that people have a lot of sighting, and there may be indeed, but I just wish they'd find one for me.
I love the fact that you included the flat earthers and the flat earth deniers. That one stuck with me.
Yeah, that's right. They had a flat earth conference here in Mount Juliet here a couple of years or so ago. Did you know that, John?
I missed that. What was that?
They had a flat earth conference here at that, I forget the name of that church. It was that big noisy church that since moved, I think. They were on old Lebanon Dirt. They were on Lebanon Dirt Road, I think. They're a big church. I don't remember their name.
I didn't know, but yes, I know that guy well. Every time I rode my motorcycle, I gave him the bird as I went by.
Oh, okay. No, anyway, they had a conference there. For some reason, don't ask me why a Christian, so-called Christian church would have a flat earth conference. I'm not sure. But anyway, in fact, we got cornered at the Golden Corral by a couple of them who were having breakfast there. They decided they were going to kind of read us the whole directives on why the earth is flat and why I had no idea what I was talking about when I said I went around the world on a ship.
Yeah, they're too much. I'm just glad they moved.
Well, no, I don't believe that the church believed that. I don't know why they held the conference. I really don't. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that church seems a little different. I'll call it that.
They're in it for the money. They're trying to draw the likes, the clicks, all the things to drive the, hopefully, revenue, I'm assuming. It's some kind of scam.
Oh, I don't know. I consider, well, I'm not going to say. I hate to bet. I never know who's listening, and I don't want to disrupt anybody. I said, everybody can believe whatever they choose to believe and give money to whoever they believe. I prefer they give me the money, but whatever. Anyway, anybody else wants to check in, please come in. And how about ham radio deniers? How about that?
How about New Year's resolution breakers already?
Oh, man, you already broke your New Year's resolution just today, just now. See, if you didn't check in, then it wouldn't be breaking.
Well, I didn't check in Sunday or Saturday night, and I said, well, I got to break it on Wednesday.
How you doing, Scott?
Doing all right. Ask the group there, can anybody read? I need a microphone wired, and I've got the schematics, but I just can't figure it out.
I know Robin could probably help you real well with that. He's good at that. Here in just south of me.
Oh, that's right. I'll call him. Yeah, I got his number. Okay. Now I got a little Zygu QRP radio in the mail today, used, and I was gonna hook it up for my 10-meter beacon and just run it at that. Well, I can't get any power output out of it on CW, and the microphone that came with it does not have a plug. So I'm kind of dead in the water right now. I got to mess with it some more tomorrow. Maybe it's just a setting that I'm missing, unless the PA is already dead in it.
Huh. I think you told me, was that the one you got on eBay or something, or QRZ?
No, I got this one off of Facebook. He's selling off a lot of his father's gear out of Cumberland Furnace, and it was legit. I mean, he sent it to me, came with everything. I'm thinking maybe I'm just missing a setting in there.
What is that QRP rig?
'Cause I thought my realistic
Kenwood 570 to the beacon, and I said, well, I'd rather burn up a $50 radio than a $500 radio. You're running 24 hours a day. But I got my realistic back online. For some reason, I guess it just took a hiccup.
Yeah. Is that one of the? That's one of the lesser. Because I noticed I looked at those iGoos, or how you pronounce that, and that they have several different models of that, as you know. And was that the low end one?
Yeah, this one's old, but it looks brand new. It's the X1M, I think. Yeah, X-ray 1 mic. Now Junior has the 6100, which is a 20-watt radio, and he really likes that one for the size and the longevity of the battery.
I noticed they only get. How much were they asking for that amp, the 100-watt amp? Do you remember? It wasn't very much. It was about the same price as the radios, I remember.
He paid $450 for his used, and I don't know about an amplifier for it.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, they look pretty good. I mean, they're all made. I still cringe when I think about Chinese radios. I don't know why. Maybe I'm prejudiced.
No, I'm trying to stay away from them myself, but money.
Oh, I get it. No, those look like nice radios, and I hear good reports on them. I don't know how good they are, but anything else for the net, Scott?
No, I have nothing else. And if you hear me on 10 meter, it's because I'm lucky. I'm on the loop right now. I'm going to put a switch so I can switch it between the radio A and radio B for the 10 meter vertical, but I haven't done it yet. But carry on, K1 yesterday.
Very good. That's Scott in Laverne, Kilo 1, Sierra Papa Delta. Anybody else before we move on over to 446, 415? Then that's where we'll go. We had 18 today on 2 meters, and we're moving over to 446, 415. We'll see you there, K4PW. It's K4PW. You think I'd remember where that is on my radio if you're watching me change the channels. It's in with the other 70 centimeter frequencies, and I'm listed by, by frequencies rather than by name. Anyway, that's 446, 415. That's K4PW. Looking for check-ins. We started from the east. Let's start there, Michael.
KM4, wow.
Very good. That's Michael here in Mount Juliet. Who else is east? Do I have to beg Stan to get in there? Up to the north.
K4 Juliet.
Very good, Danny. Good to have you in there. That's Kilo. Good big signal, too, on 70 centimeters. Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar. November. Who else is north?
Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India.
Ah, very good. That's Eric in. Eric is in. Man, I would already forget where you were. Eric is in. Oh, I can't think of it. Where is it? You're in Goodlettsville. That's where you are.
Copy that.
Very good. That's Eric in Goodlettsville. Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India. Who else is north?
WB0NOL.
Yeah, we know where you are. You heard me say that about. It's so funny how good a signal you have on. And also signals just on the other side of the lake are usually almost as good if they got a decent station as yours. But anyway, I already knew that.
Yeah, well, I'm only a mile from Hendersonville.
Oh, I know. It's right across. Is it really a mile right across from the? Oh, you're inland just a little bit. How far are you from the lake?
I'm one street back from the lake, so no, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile maybe.
Oh, wow, that's close. Yeah, so that's just a mile across the water there. Is it really a mile across that water?
Probably not. But the peninsula from Hendersonville is if there weren't so many trees, I could see it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, well, it's also all those fingers come down there, so the closest thing in is really close. And if you go up, like I said, from me, you're about 5 miles, I think, north. In Hendersonville, up at the far end of up at Veterans Expressway, it's pretty close to 12 miles, 11 point something miles. That's not very far. I mean, that's why Hendersonville's so easy for me. It's easier than Nashville.
Yeah, and it's all downhill for you, from you.
Well, Nashville's not too bad, but Hendersonville is all good, really. But the only problem with Nashville is if somebody's on behind the buildings, they're in trouble, especially with an HT, which we've had that happen. Anyway, that was Mark up near the beach there on Cumberland River Lake. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar Oscar. Who else is north? VU. Boy, you got a lousy signal, Carlin. What's up? You say your antenna sucks? Is that what I heard you say? No, it's really bad. I don't remember your signal being that bad before. Conditions must be terrible. Anyway, that's Carlin. Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey with a worse than normal signal for him. I'm so surprised. Who else is north?
Whiskey 4 November Papa.
Hey, David. Were you copying Carlin tonight? Did I have the last QSO?
Yes, and his signal is way down on me tonight. He's only about a S3, S4 on me. He's normally, well, I take that back. I don't normally talk to him up here on 70 centimeters, so I don't really know what his signal normally is on up here on this frequency. But yeah, he's kind of weak on me here too.
Yeah, it must be some weird conditions. Like I said, normally on this frequency he does okay to me, but tonight he was almost just above unreadable to me.
Yeah, a little bit low, but like I said, not real sure what he normally does for me. But anyway. Good evening, everyone out there, and I missed the 2-meter check-in. I was on the phone, so finally got that wrapped up, so I could give you a number.
It sounds good. Everything good with you, David?
Oh yeah, doing good up here. Just like everybody else, kind of anticipating to see what the big monsoon's supposed to bring us on Friday or so.
Yeah, I know. Somehow we survive them.
Well, a lot of people that's been in this area for a long time remembers we used to get some big snows.
I remember a guy, one of the Metro sheriffs, telling me that story about him being when he was a Metro sheriff out on the, well, he was out in a car, and he was just telling me how awful it was in Nashville and a real bad snow back in, I assumed it was in the 60s.
Well, we've had some pretty good ones. I don't remember back that far. I'm not quite that old, but definitely during the 80s and 90s, definitely remember we had some pretty good snows.
Yeah, well, they make for good or bad memories, or both.
Well, I was a kid back then in the 80s, so good memories for me.
Yeah. Well, it all of a sudden everybody decides they're going to get anything to slide down a hill on, whatever it is. They don't care what it is.
You know, I did that. Bought me a new sled here about 10 years ago. I think I've used it once.
Well, I got a plastic Sears trash can with a lid that the handle doesn't stick up. You know, it's indented, so you could ride that down the hill.
Well, I tell you, we used to have a lot of fun back around. We had a pretty good snow around the late 90s, and I got some acreage up here at White House and tractors, and we had a car. We took an old car hood, a truck hood from a 72 model Chevrolet truck hood, and the lip on that front, if you're familiar with those, they turn up quite a bit in the front and make a really good sled. And we took a bench seat out of the same truck and welded to it, and we hooked it behind the tractor and done donuts with it. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're making me laugh. It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's I think there might have been a few injuries involved in that, but nothing major. But it is all fun.
No, we had the same thing. We never did that, but I don't remember that particular car you're talking about. You took off it didn't have one of those things up on the hood, did it? One of those logo, one of the little statue or nothing.
Well, I can't remember if it had the big Chevrolet logo. We probably took that off, and it probably got put up in somebody's dresser.
Yeah, no, it's kids can be very inventive, I'll tell you. We went sledding one time. We thought it was a good idea. It was a hill. It was a cemetery on a hill. Well, I got off track and I slammed right into it. To avoid a cemetery stone, I slammed into a tree. I thought I was going to knock myself out. Well, my wife said, she sure is glad there weren't video cameras when she was a kid.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Good net, Paul. Good net.
Very good. That was David in White House, Whiskey 4 November, Papa. Who else is north? Or over to the west?
KG4CBE.
Very good. Appreciate hanging in there, Greg. That's Greg in Antioch. Who else is west?
KG4ILV.
All right, very good. How you doing, Jack? You must. Well, you're just the right age with me. Did you have some big winters when you were living in Middle Tennessee?
Yeah, I remember about maybe one every decade, maybe two a decade. And then we haven't had you the last 20 years, really.
Not any big ones now. When you say big, how big was the worst? Do you remember?
Well, I remember people being stuck on Ellington Parkway, and I had to leave my car up there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are different days too. Didn't have the same resources we have today.
That's true. And we still don't have a lot of snow plows, but we've got plenty of dump trucks and salt.
Yep. It's just because it's funny that I did not. You tend to forget everybody can use salt here, and in most places up through where I lived in New York, salt was always used on the roads and screwed up all the cars. But the farther north you go, you can't use salt because it doesn't do the job.
I remember my dad having to put the chains on the car and to get up the hill where we lived as a kid.
Oh yeah, yep. Of course, my father had an old Nash. I think it was a '49 Nash when I was a kid, and I think that was the car. Anyway, he'd take time whenever he got home in the winter. He'd take the battery out and put it on the kitchen floor so he could start the car in the morning.
Yeah, '49 Nash, that was a good car.
I guess. I got a picture of it. I'll have to show it to you. I was just a little kid, in around 1951.
Right.
Anyway, that was Jack. He's in Donaldson. Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. Who else is west or south? West or south?
Free kick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hear me better?
Oh, yeah, much better. What'd you do?
I disconnected the cord on that duplexer back there and went directly to the antenna on 70 centimeters.
Oh, cool. So the duplexer was killing your signal.
It looked like it.
Yeah, you just have a little bit of tone in there. It's like a dual tone on your signal right now, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what that could be.
It almost looks like a railroad train. That sounds like a railroad train whistle from afar. That's what it sounds like, that kind of twin tone.
Okay.
Anybody else hear that? Mike, can you hear that? I guess not. Nobody's listening. All right, very good. That's Carlin. And he's rechecking with it, just changed. He pulled out the duplexer and I could hear him fine. Anybody else? Please come now. All righty, we have 9 people in there. We're going to go right over to 28.415, so we'll see you there, unless I hear somebody scream.
Did you jump to the south or not?
Oh, I thought I did the south. Maybe, no, I did say the south. You apparently were distracted. Anyway, I got you in there. Every good. How are you copying everybody, Scott? Yo, Scott, how are you copying people?
You know, I copied Eric, Craig, and then was it K4NP? Was that David?
Yeah, David in the White House.
I was hearing both of them real well tonight.
Yeah, both of them had they're really good signals to me. John was exceptional, really big signal. And then David's was very good as well up in the White House. Or Cottontown, I should say. No, it's White House. He's in the White House.
Yeah, that's correct. White House.
Yep, yeah, I just want to make sure I had it right in my brain there. Anything else on that, Scott?
Nothing here. K1SP.
Very good. That was Scott and Laverne. Anybody else? That rounds us out at 10. All right, we're going to move over to 28.415. Unless anybody screams again. All right, we're going over to 28.415. We'll see you there. This is K4PW, net control from Mount Juliet, Simplexton here on 10 meters, 28.415. Looking for check-ins from the east. Please come now.
KM4, wow, right.
Yeah, very good. Michael in here, Mount Juliet, KM4YRF. Who else? East? Anybody else east? Over to the north.
KN4ERI.
Ah, very. We've got Eric in there. Sounds good tonight, Eric. That's Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India in Goodlettsville. Did you have any reason? Did you think you were going to do worse? Did you say you were wondering?
Yeah, Paul, I didn't catch all that. One more time?
I mean, I'm copying you good. Which antenna are you on?
Okay, I just got a new antenna. I got a vertical 10 meter slash 11 meter vertical antenna.
Oh, okay. That's the one you're on now?
Yeah, copy that. It's like, it's a 20-foot tall Amazon special.
Yep, I know which one you talk. Well, there's others like that too, but yeah, most of those are about the same. They're cut for both 10. You can modify the if it's built for 10, 11. Sometimes you can cut those for 10 meters better, but you're doing fine.
Yeah, cool. It put it over both, and it tuned fine, so it's good.
Yeah, very good. That was Eric in Goodlettsville. Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India. Who else is north? All right, good signal from Danny. Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November in Station Camp. Who else is north?
4 November Papa.
Very good. We got David in there. Whiskey 4 November Papa. Good signal. Who else is north? Over the west.
KG4 ILV.
Very good, Jack. You still sound like you're okay. I'm going to say I'm off frequency, so I'm going to have to correct to you. How's that?
You sound like you're on frequency.
I know yours sounds like it isn't, though. Aren't you going to get to that thingy there we talked about on the correction on the web?
I don't know.
No, you can alter yours to make the 0 beat thing. You can do with your own radio listening to a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that though.
No, it's a neat thing. I was surprised at how easy it was.
I'll check it out soon.
All right, that was Jack. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Who else is west? Very good, Greg. You sound good tonight. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Anybody else west? West or south? Hey, very good. You sound good, Scott. Which antenna are you on? On the which one? Oh, really? Well, I'm not too surprised. You're relatively close to me. Michael, how well do you hear Scott over in Laverne?
Okay, but not as good as on the Antron 99.
You heard that, didn't you, Scott? Oh, the vertical? I got you. Well, no, you sound okay. I can hear you. You're doing great. Anything else? Anybody else out there south or anywhere?
WB0NO.
Very good. WB0NO. You sound good as always. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar in Northwest Wilson. Anybody else? By the way, that was Mark. Anybody else? We had 9 in there tonight on 10 meters, which is pretty decent. Last chance before we move on to 223-415. All righty, we're closing that. Appreciate you all being there. Hope you enjoyed the net. It went pretty long, but we had a good time. I know I had a good time. I don't know if everybody else did. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I should make sure everybody else has a good time and not me. Anyway, I'll be checking out of here in a second here. So we'll catch you later. K4 PW. Have a good night, everybody. Good night, YouTube. K4